Let's go back to Katrina Perry. Katrina, tell me a little more about where you are, the politics of that state, and what people have been saying to you.
Well, Matthew, it might look like I'm on the Death Star with Darth Vader here. I'm not. I am still in Lima in Ohio. Ohio, a very interesting state, voted for President Trump in the last 3 election cycles, but with the exception of 2020 when this state voted for President Trump, although Joe Biden went on to win the election, for every year since 1964, this state has voted for the winner, be it a Democrat or be it a Republican, but there's very solid support for Donald Trump now. Where we are here in Lima, 71% of the population voted for Donald Trump, and we've been talking all day about the impact the tariffs are having on the big industries here like manufacturing and farming. But I'm in Alter Ego Comics, hanging out with Darth Vader here and plenty more people to talk about the tons and tons of businesses here right across the state, right across America, who rely on imports to support their business model, imports of products that are not made in America, and business owners are very concerned about their business model and their futures with the impact of the tariffs that have been announced so far. I want to talk now to the owner of Alter Ego Comics here, Marc Bowker. Thank you for having us in your store, Marc. Tell us a little bit about the impact of tariffs for you, because you are a very bespoke store here with lots of collector items and very prized possessions for many people that just aren't made in America. What impact are you seeing so far?
Well, we've seen tariff emails coming from a variety of manufacturers, ranging from increases in cost to 14% all the way up to 35%. And those eventually are going to trickle down to the customer, because not small retailers like me, we can't absorb all of the tariff fees that are being passed on to us. And we understand that our manufacturers can't either. So we're kind of all in the same boat, the manufacturers and the retailers, and just trying to figure out how to navigate this crazy tariff situation.
So give me an example. I mean, we're standing here beside a whole pile of Transformers. How have they been affected?
So this is a relatively new product line for us, and it's been very successful. And actually yesterday I got an email from the manufacturer saying that prices were going to go up 25 to 35% because of the tariffs. So anything that's already in the United States is going to remain at the original price, but any new product that comes in is going to increase 25 to 35%.
That's a huge amount. I mean, if you pass that on to the consumer, that potentially puts these things out of their price range.
With something like this, where the cost is, $19, $20, it's not horrible. But if we tried to absorb all of that 25 to 35% increase, it would significantly eat into the small profit margin that we already have on it. So at the end of the day, the tariff is a consumer tax. This is all going to trickle down to the consumer, and we're going to see prices increasing on products like this, not only the products that we sell, but a whole bunch of consumer goods.
So these things maybe go from $20 to $25. Perhaps it's still in the affordability range, but you've got some very special things in the store here. Let's have a look at them, which are a much higher price point, and so the percentages, you're talking a lot more extra cash for people here.
Right. So our number one product category are these action figures. These are collector figures. I don't want to nerd out too much, but we don't call them dolls or action figures. These are collector figures. You didn't call them dolls. So you can see the price tag on this, $255. And this is, as I said, our number one revenue category. It's been that way for about 18 years of the 22 years that we've been in existence. And now we are being charged a 14% tariff fee by the manufacturer, by the distributor of this item. And I get it. They can't absorb that 145% Chinese tariff. These are all made in China. And we have to pass some of that on to the consumer. So we've made a difficult decision of passing on 6% of that 14% onto the consumer.
The situation with these is some of them are back ordered, right? So they would have been ordered and maybe even paid for before the tariffs were announced.
Right. So these are pre-orders. These are items. It takes a significant amount of time because you have license holders like Disney and Warner Brothers that have to approve all of this stuff through every step of the process. So many of these products have been on order for 6 to 24 months. In fact, we have items coming in tomorrow that have been on order for over a year. So these items that were offered to us at one price, that we then offered to our customers at one price, are now 145% higher. So it's a surprise tariff. Like, none of us were expecting this, not only the manufacturers, but the retailers and the consumers. And as I said, a tariff is essentially a consumer tax.
So it's having a really huge impact on your business, and that doesn't look like changing anytime soon. So, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Marc. Really interesting to see the impact the tariffs are having on Alter Ego Comics here. Many other businesses like you as well. So that's the view from here. We'll have plenty more from Lima in Ohio later in the day. So do stay with us here on BBC News.